Sure. It's okay, we're good. We got the openers. Are we open?
You're live.
We're live. Here we are. We had a slight technical glitch, but we're all good now. It is Wednesday. It is 9 o'clock. It is Chit Chat Shop, and I'm super excited because look who's here! Woo! Like, so much fun, so much fun.
Give me a cake!
Woo! I love it. I love it.
Give me a tea! We're at the kitchen party!
Yeah, I love it. I love the energy. She's much quieter than I am. I should lower my volume. As Adam says, you're going red, Patty, you're going red. So we're super excited to have Miss Heather Rankin here tonight. And you brought your lovely albums. You have a new album, newish album.
Coming up.
You just did one.
I didn't record yet, but I'm in the works of planning one. For sure,
okay.
yeah.
And what was your most recent? Was the Christmas album?
But that's 2017. If you can believe it already. Oh my God!
Jeez, time flies. Time flies.
Yeah.
That was an awesome album.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Lovely.
It was a fun record, and I especially enjoy singing that music when I go on tour.
Yes.
It's just such a great time of the year. People are excited, and people are in good spirits, and they're planning to get together and.
Plus, it brings back all the memories, right?
It does.
Yeah. You sang a lot of Christmas songs in your childhood, I assume.
Yeah, you did too.
I did some. Oh, yeah.
You're a theater gal.
I'm a theater gal, yes.
From what I hear, you did some...
It's been a long time since I've done that, because I'm a chef gal now. But yes, no. I did, actually, with Amanda, who's here with you, and my husband, Ted. That's how I met.
Yeah.
We met, and my son has taken the musical buck. He's guitarist, and he's taking voice lessons. He's 11, so it's lovely. It's wonderful.
Now, you and I were talking earlier about ways to bring people into the Red Shoe Pub in the shoulder seasons.
Yes, in Malibu.
Yeah, because we live up in Cape Breton on the west coast. It's a very rural area in the middle of.
But beautiful.
Inverness. It's gorgeous.
Go visit if you haven't been there.
It's gorgeous all year. It truly is. Just don't stay when you go. No, but I have a pub there.
You do?
I own a pub with my sisters. And
the
we're
Red
open,
Shoe Pub?
Yeah, the Red Shoe Pub. And we are open 5.5-ish months of the year, depending on when we open. We're open till Celtic Colors. And it can be quieter on the shoulder seasons.
I bet.
In late May, early June, late September, early October. And you were suggesting...
I'm full of ideas.
Yeah.
But I said you should do like a chef dinner series.
Uh-huh.
There's lots of cool spots in Nova Scotia to do this. One that came to mind was Sugar Moon Farms. And they do chef dinner. So you invite a chef to come up. You create a menu based on the seasonality and what's available. And then people come and they buy tickets. There's interaction. You get to chat with the chefs. You get a beautiful meal.
You learn from watching what they do. Right? There's no mystery to it.
Just like you tonight, you're going to learn from watching.
I am going to learn because I am a horrific cook. And
your
you do
email.
not want to come to dinner at my house.
Yes, you do.
Unless you want Costco chicken wings.
Oh gosh, no. We'll make your game a little better. You had a funny email because we ask all these questions about what would you like to cook and what did you grow, do you have any childhood memory favorites? And what was your childhood memory
Well, we ate a lot of salt cod.
Yes, as you would in Cape
a lot of stew.
Yeah,
with blubbery meat. And once in a while, there'd be a little string of meat on the pieces of blubber. What else did I say?
You said egg salad.
No.
You a bag of something, and I'd have to go back and look. I will find it when I come back on after Andrew's cooked.
What were you eating when everybody else was eating?
Oh, yeah, I was the fussiest kid. And I think not every kid's taste buds are the same because most of them...
Are you still a fussy eater?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I love everything now. I don't eat snails, but I have.
Okay.
I don't make a habit of it.
That's all right. We'll forgive you for that.
Just the idea, But as a kid, I would not eat anything except scrambled eggs.
That's it.
And eggnog. And my mother was always worried about me, so she would, throw a little splash of rum or something in the eggnog to keep me healthy. That's true.
I love it.
Eggnog and egg sandwiches, like the toasted ones.
All the egg, all the way, any way she could get it.
But now, if you fried the egg and the yellow was separate from the white, I wouldn't eat the yellow, the yolk.
Really?
No, I was so fussy, I would not eat anything. But then I went on the road in my 20s.
Yes, and you had to eat whatever.
Oh my God, we went on some scurvy tours, let me tell you. Overseas, we go to London and England and Scotland and those places, and it's hard to find scrambled eggs.
And eggnog in July.
That's where I first ate curries and Thai food and Indian food, and oh my God, once I realized
how awesome
the incredible flavors there are in the world. And recently I was in Indonesia and Malaysia. I went to visit my sister in Singapore.
Wow.
And she took us to these two countries, and the food there, the
amazing
flavors and everything is amazing. And I
well,
gained 20 pounds.
She didn't.
A lot of great fish, a lot of excellent
fresh fish and really bright flavors, right? Like it's so
just
different.
So many,
the flavor profiles.
So different and amazing.
Well, speaking of that, we're going to invite Chef Andrew on here because Chef Andrew, is going to do some cooking. There he is.
Here I am.
He was grooving if you saw his little dance.
I pulled out the dad dance, which is the locked elbows and the hip shimmy. It's good at a low tempo.
Really well done.
It's good at a high tempo. And it's also
good at any tempo.
It's great for like walking through a crowd at the club, just like,
looking like you fit in, but not really.
Not really, just blending in enough. That's the key.
Okay.
That's the key. You don't want to stick out.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's like the drying yourself off dance.
Yeah. It's the towel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have it mastered.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're going to master fish.
Yeah.
They're going to cook some fish. So I'm going to leave you be. I'm going to come on at the end.
Oh,
I'm going to taste and make sure that
okay.
he's cooked up the fish
You have to go
properly.
do some work, eh?
No, I'm going to go over there and do comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, comments.
Yeah,
and
comments.
and
You know what you're gonna do. Look at that.
Have a little
Wine. That's what.
Okay.
It's yours. Don't forget.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Have fun.
I'm not drunk, I swear to God. I just had and I hardly ever take a drink. To be honest with you, this is just my first week tonight.
You sound great. Yeah. Well, we were doing a little a bridge traffic report for a mic test earlier. I think we have a good on-camera dynamic already. So
I think so.
I'm just going to keep that going.
Yeah.
So when we were corresponding earlier, you said that you didn't have a whole lot of ways that you knew to dress up fish. So we're going to make some fancy yet approachable fish dishes tonight. Okay. So we're going to do two. First off, I want to get in the oven right away. So I got this. You see these nice cuts of salmon in the grocery store all the time.
Yes.
Some people cut them up, fry them separately. This is perfect for roasting in the oven at like a higher temperature. So I've got an oven at 325 degrees over here to the side.
Is there skin on that?
There is skin. So what I did is this is just, we call this in the industry, from the red shoe, you've probably seen a few of these being flung around the kitchen. This is a chef's favorite frisbee.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's called a sizzle pan in the kitchen world, but if you have a baking sheet at home, same thing. I just put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom so it's going to slip around, but this will also crisp up the skin underneath, as long as your oven's hot enough.
Okay.
So I've got it at 425 degrees right now, so hopefully we'll get a nice tender center and a nice caramelized outside and a nice crispy
I didn't know
skin.
that you could do that in the oven. I thought you always had to sear it and then put it in
You
the
don't
oven.
always have to. So as long as you can get it in the oven at the right high temperature, you're good to go. A lot of people are afraid of high temperatures because sometimes your oil will smoke if you're not using the right kind of oil. So this is just a canola oil on here, so it's got a high smoke point.
Okay.
So we're not going to light anything on fire tonight. So that's we're the only thing that's on fire tonight.
Oh, woo!
Woo! So I'm just going to hit it with a little more oil on top.
Okay.
And just a little dash of salt, so we get that nice and seasoned on the top.
Oh, and the oil makes it stick.
Exactly, oil makes it stick. Nice little bit of pepper.
Nice.
And here's a little twist. So from our spice cupboard, I've got a little bit of garam masala. So you were talking about all the great flavors you had over in Asia. So this is one of my favorite Indian spice blends. So it's a bunch of warming spices. So it's a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. There's some cumin in there. Just going to give this a little
Any
flick
turmeric?
over the top. No turmeric.
That's not in
That's not in this. But turmeric would be beautiful. It's such a nice spice. It would give it really like orange hue to the top.
It's supposed to be good for you too, turmeric.
It is. We've actually we're opening a cafe soon down at the Zatzman Sportsplex down here, and we've been working on this really cool. We call it an energy bite, where it's basically this little like granola bar kind of thing. Great, after a workout to sort of get a little more energy, and it's camera and turmeric with a little bit of coconut, and it's so cool.
Oh my
and
God, that sounds
it's tasty
delicious.
and it's good for you.
love
So
coconut.
we're ticking the boxes with it. That's for sure. Yeah. So I'm going to pop this in.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this in the oven. But why don't, let's just see. Well, I'll be right back. I'm going to be right back.
We'll be right back after this.
I left her all alone. Maybe I'll put an oven here next time. We can do that. Yeah.
What's your cafe going to be called?
What is the cafe going to be called, Patty?
It's yet to be determined.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a good title.
Kitchen
Yet to be
door.
determined.
Names like Refuel, but then it sounded like a gas station.
Yeah. So,
How about kitchen window?
ooh.
Heather Rankin, all the creative
creative ideas.
Well, my best idea was going to be the Red Shoe Cafe, but that's not. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. It just sort
Sorry,
of
that
came to
name
me.
is already copyrighted
Oh,
by a wine company in British Columbia.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, we won't get into that.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Cool. So while the salmon's in the oven, why don't we get some things ready to go together with the dishes? So I've got this beautiful cucumber here. Now, have you ever fried a cucumber before?
No.
Nobody ever has, but it's actually a really cool way. Like, we do it with zucchini all the time. We do it with, this is essentially a squash.
Yeah.
So we're just
okay,
going to
let's do this.
put a little heat to it and saute it. So if you wouldn't mind just peeling that cucumber up,
Okay.
then we're going to cut it in half. I'm going to get the right pan on the burner here, which I just...
That's a fancy rig.
Oh, yeah. These are great peelers.
Do you
'cause-
take all the peel off?
Yeah, all the peel off would be perfect.
Oh God, I'm so good at this.
Oh, yeah, you got it. And I've got some beautiful cherry tomatoes here, so I'm just going to slice them up because we want to sort of saute both of these at the same time, but for a pretty quick bit of heat.
What's the difference between this? This is English cucumber, right?
Yeah, well,
And the fatter kind.
yeah, and the fatter kind. Actually, I always get this wrong. There's a Kirby cucumber, and then there's the English cucumber, but there's one that's like way more seedy, and the seeds are like much tougher. These have
Yeah.
like a more watery middle to them.
Okay.
So
Better for salads then.
better for salads, but for what we're going to do, we're actually going to cut it in half and scoop the seeds out. So they won't. So when we put it in the hot pan, it's not going to spit at us too much.
How's that?
Sorry, I missed
Oh,
that.
that's
Is that
beautiful.
the English cucumber? Is that the English one?
That is.
And I
It's a microphone cucumber, actually.
was
Yeah,
ready.
it's the bodyguard cucumber.
You said you may sing. I wasn't expecting that.
You never know what's going to trigger somebody to sing. You never know. When I was a kid in the car, like on road trips and stuff, we used to have these things called trigger words. And they're when my dad, sorry Dad if you're watching, but he's not a great singer. And he would always sing everything to the tune of one song, but it would be, a narrative of whatever's going on. But no matter what it was, something would trigger him and he'd start singing. So we call that the trigger word. So that was a trigger cucumber for you.
It was a trigger cucumber.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do anything else? with
Yeah. So what?
it? Would you like me to slice this?
Yeah, well, actually, why don't we go right down the middle?
Sure, hold that knife. She's going to chop her finger.
Oh, yes. Okay, so.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I was getting
Patty's freaking out about the knife. I had to take the knife away from Heather Rankin. I'm sorry. So. That's the fear. So. So thumb
Yes.
right there, index finger right there,
Oh.
and wrap your hand around like that.
Oh.
And then you're locked in. You're not going to slip a finger underneath the blade or anything.
Well, that's why they're so short,
There we go.
This is my first ride in the rodeo or
All
whatever
right.
they
Well,
say. Go.
here the knife is
Okay,
yours again.
so
there
like
we go.
that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
So just take it right down the middle like that.
Okay.
There we go. No pressure.
No pressure.
Did you sharpen this thing?
It's the trading wheels knife. Perfect.
Now you're going to scoop the seeds
So
out,
well,
right?
I'll scoop one out and then you scoop the other. But I just want to show people how easy and spoons are a great kitchen tool, but not just for soup.
Yeah.
Not just for soup people. You can peel ginger with them, or in this case,
yeah.
just take your spoon and scoop all the seeds out, 2 or 3 passes, and then you've got a nice, less watery cucumber. So
Okay.
perfect for what we're going to do. So if you want to go ahead and give that a little go.
De-seed. Looks like a spine.
It does. It does. Awesome. So I've cut up some cherry tomatoes over here,
Okay.
and so I'm just heating up the pan right now. I'm gonna put a little speck of oil in here. And while you're doing such a great job on that, I'm just gonna have a peek at the salmon. Make sure
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's great. Cool. So the second dish we're gonna do tonight, I'll show you the fish right now. It's actually lovely. It's perch. Lovely ocean perch. So we got this from just from our local grocery store. Already comes skinned, so it's awesome. But one of the things I like to do with a piece of fish like this,
It's so small.
it's so small.
How
so
do
you
you not overcook it?
well, this is where again high heat, but also a little bit of confidence with the pan. So you gotta,
Right.
yeah. So actually, should I use
Have faith, Heather. Have faith.
It's all about having faith.
No,
Exactly.
no, that's my,
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
absolutely.
okay.
And enough oil, and also a little chef trick. If something starts to stick to the pan,
Yeah.
butter gets it off of that. So a little bit of butter, put it in, give it a shake. That'll scoot underneath
Okay.
and save you from.
Now,
certain
I
trouble.
always thought you put something in the pan and you sear it until that it doesn't stick.
Well, that's also that helps, and the butter will help with the finishing of that and also loosening it up. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like if it's almost too far gone, butter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
butter will save it. But for something like this, the skin can sort of curl up in the pan.
Yep.
So all you want to
Oh,
do.
that's skin, is it?
Yeah, so this is the skin, so it's already been
Good
scaled.
color.
So what I want to do is just sort of pinch it down like this and go along and make, with a decently sharp knife,
Scoring.
just score it so it's not going to curl right up on us.
I see.
Ah. Give that a little go. So there's that one. So I'll do the other one. We're getting some smoke in our pan, which is perfect. And I'll tell you what, I'll show you a cut I'd like on those cucumbers. I think some triangles would look really cool with that.
Ooh.
So I'm just going to turn my pan off here because we were talking about induction burners earlier, and if you have one at home, this is 2 minutes on almost.
That's amazing.
Isn't that something? Super hot, ready to go.
It's an induction burner?
Induction, so it just sort of vibrates the metal
Yeah.
to a frequency.
And I was saying it's a great idea, like at Christmas, if you have like so many pots on the 4-burner stove at the same time, to have that extra
Totally,
burner.
it's the perfect kind of thing to have if you got a pot of chili on the island ready for people to come in.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, why don't we do some nice triangles like that? I'm trying to
Okay.
touch it with my fish hand here if anybody's watching. I'm
Right.
keeping that separate.
Okay.
There we go.
Of course, we're paying attention.
Of I know. It's
And you weren't holding it like you showed me.
no, exactly. So,
All
woo!
of them out.
Patty, did you turn up the heat in here? Oh my goodness! This is something.
Just saying, bossy pants.
Well, I like the conversational ping pong we're having here. This is great. All right.
So we have Jeff and Michelle Moore here. We have Shelley DeCorby here, and Charlotte Llewellyn. She's from Moncton, and she is enjoying your energy and thinks you're hilarious.
Oh, hi everybody.
And she said that, what did she say? I just lost it. Oh, I lost it here. She said something about being one of her first musical memories.
Aw,
Right.
she's only 10, right?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Well,
There.
something's going on. Patty, would you mind passing me another induction burner? I think I might have.
If we blew this
We
one
already-
out,
It's embarrassed. We were saying so many good things about it. This is more like a mechanical blush
yeah.
than anything.
Is it
right
the
here.
burner or is it the plug? Did we?
No, the plug's working. We figured out that
Okay,
electrical
we figured
stuff.
So
out the
I'm
electric.
going to ask you a question, Heather.
Yeah.
Because you traveled all over the world, obviously, singing, and we talked
There
about
you go.
food that you've discovered.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia and Cape Breton have like a culture that is very hospitable. Is there a place in the world that you found closest to the way that our culture is here?
Well, obviously Scotland. Their food. You mean in terms of the
Just in
food?
terms of the people, I think, more than people.
Oh, well, you know what? I tend to find no matter where you go, people are just good people. I was down in LA and for a while recording my first record, and I couldn't believe how amazing people are. I just expect that when you go to bigger urban centers that people are not as warm, but I think people are good wherever you go.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I guess the smaller, the more rural the place you go, you're going to find people that are similar.
Where have your rowdiest crowds been?
Oh gosh, if you go to Fort McMurray and do
Oh,
a gig,
yeah.
or Yellowknife, we did some
Cool.
stuff up there. It depends. We've done some pretty fun stuff in Scotland and England and parts of the States. People are fun wherever you go. If the music's
You bring the
live.
fun.
Yeah, you brought the party though, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a party.
Breakers always bring the fun.
These things are falling down. Look, so I made 2 records. Let's put them away.
I'm done with the fun.
Yeah.
All right, they get it. Everybody gets it. 2 records.
Oh, is that for the garbage?
Oh yeah, that. Oh, there we go. Compost.
Like on Martha
You are a
Stewart?
pro. I didn't even realize it.
She puts it underneath here, right?
Oh, that's.
She must have
secret
garbage.
mess.
She must have cans all along here.
Oh, it's a mess down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was one the first
Rachel
cook?
Ray.
Rachel Ray. Oh yeah.
She's another one that has the bowls out. Compost bowl and your,
Oh,
or your
okay.
garbage bowl.
Yeah.
I remember watching the Naked Chef Jamie Oliver show back in the day on the Food Network, and it was the first place I ever saw he had just a hole in his countertop with a garbage can underneath,
Oh.
and everything was going.
That's an awesome idea.
He'd whack it in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Go back and watch those.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was like a butcher block with a hole, and it was really nice.
Yeah.
And check this out, we're already getting a little bit of color on our
Okay,
cucumbers
so you have
in
that
here.
pretty high, and is that canola oil?
Yeah, that's canola oil right in there.
Oh, I'm
So
impressed. Cucumbers.
cucumbers,
Oh,
they're gonna be great. So I'm gonna season them up a little bit, just a little bit of salt. going right in there. A little bit of pepper
I
going
had a
in
bad
there.
experience once with cucumbers.
Oh, do tell.
And
Oh my
shooters.
god.
Shooters.
Shooters and cucumbers.
Were
Not a
the
good
cucumbers the shooters?
This is long ago.
Okay.
But we won't get into it.
Is this a Chit Chat Chavo pig story?
No, this is not a.
This is an after
this
show
is not a
story.
PG story.
Okay, it's an our story, not a PG story.
Awesome. All right, now
Oh
just
my God.
give him a little flip, and look at that. So, look at that, a caramelized
Oh,
cucumber.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
It's gorgeous. And it smells delicious.
So good. It's not going to be in there for very long. So I'm going to put some cherry tomatoes in here.
Yeah.
Just cut them in half.
Yeah.
And also, I really like these black mustard seeds.
Black
So
mustard
we put
seeds.
some slight curry flavors on the salmon. This is based in a lot of curries. It's just a nice texture too. It's just some mustard seeds. So
Okay.
it's so pretty in the pan. They don't need to spend a whole lot of time in here. Just give it a little shake
I
around.
wondered what you did with mustard seeds besides make pickles.
Well, this is one of the things. Yeah. And they're a fun garnish too. You can almost make like a fake caviar with them if you sort of simmer them up and boil them. They plump right up.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a nice garnish for a dish.
Nice.
Anyway, that is just as we want it right there. So I'm actually going to put it to the side, and we'll save that for our next step.
Okay.
And now, ta-da, we're going to get a cast iron pan out
Ooh,
because,
that's a stylish one.
yeah, this is a good one. So,
Where'd you find that with the fancy handle?
actually, Patty, where'd you get this one, this cast iron?
I don't really know. I might stole it from my husband.
Oh, there we go.
I steal many things from my husband's kitchen. And then in here, and he's like, oh, that went missing like 3 years ago, and now it's a kitchen door. All the way dead.
Ted's so confused. That's horrible. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to garnish this up with, and maybe you can help out with this, but
Yeah.
I'd really like to get some of these mint leaves, and I've got some dill here. So that's going to be beautiful as a garnish with the cucumbers and the tomatoes.
Do
So
you
just
take them off that?
yeah, so just take them off that, and we'll
Okay.
just have whole leaves.
Okay.
And the dill I've got here, just sort of pull it into big chunky sprigs. That'll be
Okay.
our artful flair on top of our dish.
Oh, smells good.
Yeah, it's so good. I was actually weed whacking in my backyard the other day.
Yeah.
And isn't that what you call it? I don't know. What's
Yeah.
the
Whippersnipper.
whippersnipper?
Whippersnipper.
I was a young whippersnipper in the backyard the other day, and I planted some mint, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And
gosh.
it is aggressive. If anybody knows what that.
Really?
It
Yeah.
only goes in a pot.
Yeah. Well, now I know. But you haven't smelled anything as lovely as a freshly mowed lawn with a hint of mint.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it's
They don't call you chef for it. No,
no,
reason.
exactly. Even my lawn smells good.
I made
Yeah.
the same mistake. I planted chocolate mint, like just
Oh,
a
yeah.
tiny little plant in the corner of the garden at the
Yeah.
old house, and it took over all you could smell every time you made was chocolate mint.
Right.
Really?
It's crazy.
You can't make
Crazy.
enough mojitos to use all that mint.
No.
No, that's for sure. All right, next up, let's get some asparagus ready because we're going to fry our perch. But because we got a nice big pan here, I also want to get some asparagus in there at the same
Okay.
time. So we're just almost done of asparagus.
they're
season
big
with
fat
asparagus.
babies.
These are generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say that. So
So
the
do
old
they
trick
taste
with
as good as the skinny ones?
nothing quite beats like a fresh skinny one right from the ground. And,
Yeah, okay.
But it'll still be pretty good. But I think
Okay.
we're gonna have to. There we go. Just break the
Snap.
stock. Just let it snap naturally wherever it wants to. There we go. One more. Boom. Boom. All right. So using the knife grip that I showed you, not the one that I did myself. Here, I'll put your. Oh, these are lovely herbs. Wonderful. Let's do some interesting shapes with the
Okay.
with the asparagus. So this
How about
is.
she hands me the knife?
Okay.
All right,
I don't
Sam.
mind. So yeah, this is an oblique cut, we call it. So I'm just going to cut at an angle like this,
Yeah.
then rotate it 90 degrees. Do another little cut like that, rotate it 90 degrees. Another cut like that. Let's look at these interesting asparagus shapes. It's not just a yeah. it's
Fancy veg for your next dinner party.
fancy veg
I'll
for your
probably
next
screw
one.
it up, but
I have faith. I have faith. This,
There you Yeah.
the teacher's got to let go here a little bit. There, I'll move.
I see what you did.
snap it.
Yeah. The edge
Yeah.
is going a different way.
Look at that. As long as you give it that quarter turn, you're good to go. So the pan's nice and hot now. I'm going to season up the perch, a little bit of salt and pepper on the outside of it. I got the clumpiest salt here for some reason. That's why you have to go from. That's why you always see chefs going from up high with their salt because you want it to spread around on the cutting board.
Yeah.
It also looks.
Makes you look so professional.
Yeah, exactly. She giggled while she said that. I don't understand. Yeah.
That perch is going to take like
2
No
seconds.
time. 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Turn.
So I'm going to just lay it in the pan and make sure my oil's sort of covering where I want it to go. But I'm going to lay it down in the pan away from me. Get that nice sizzle going. Perfect. And we're going to keep that heat nice and high. And as soon as your asparagus are done, why don't you just throw them around the outside of the pan here?
Okay.
That'd be perfect.
I managed to screw them up.
Yes, perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. And see, they've ballooned up a little bit, so I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure in here so we get it nice and crispy for a
I
minute.
don't want them to curl.
No, so this is kind of like the perfect spot if you got a pot lid at home and you don't want to stick your hands right in the frying pan like I'm doing right
Yeah.
now. Just like a pot lid for your smallest pot. Hold it down on top for, about a minute or so.
Okay.
Oh, this is great.
Oh yeah, it really did puff up, eh?
Yeah, they really do. So they're curling up. I noticed one stray bone here that I missed, so I'm going to take that out of the way. So Patty's checking my salmon over here. I hope I didn't forget it for too long.
Lovely. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Perfection, Chef Andrew.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Perfection.
When Westerners came on, she says hello, and then Shelley DeCorby said, Heather will probably want to jump in and cover some shifts in the pub now. Her and you make it great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I might want to go cover some shifts in the pub. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, you should come up.
Yeah. Well, we have some people in common. I used to work for Craig Flynn, who you know very well from the early
Chives
days
and
of the.
Two Doors Down.
Yeah, Chives, 2 Doors Down.
He designed our very first menu.
Yeah.
It's an excellent menu. But I'll tell you, it was a small kitchen. And a prep heavy menu. And only enough room to cook. No room to prep. So we were literally prepping everywhere we could find a spot.
Stop me about little kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we have the whole upstairs is a prep area.
Oh, okay. So
We
you
have
added
a
on.
walk-in fridge. Well, the upstairs was just going to be an apartment or the office, and now it's packed with. It's got a giant walk-in fridge and a prepping area, an office. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what? One of the best cooks that I ever worked with and hired at 2 Doors Down. Actually, I hired him because he had Red Shoe Pub on his resume, and I was like, this guy can cook a lot of food very
who
quickly.
was it?
Alex Baird?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah,
Where is he these days?
he's actually just down the street. He's working for a great organization, Easter Seals, right now. He's sort of
okay.
doing lessons and stuff with
What
them
a
and running
nice
the kitchen.
guy.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. And crispy skin.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
That's stylish.
I'm gonna flip that around. So good. So this is like a one-pan fish dish.
Yeah.
So we're almost done. I know this fish is probably 30 seconds away from being done because when we
Okay.
take it out, it's going to keep cooking.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn off the heat because that cast iron's holding on to the heat nicely.
Yep.
And I've got some beautiful sliced almonds. Just going to put these right in here.
Give it some texture.
Give it a little bit of texture, toast them up, and sort of this classic fish sauce is a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of butter in here so we can scoop that over. And then I've got some lemon. So just going to zest this right in the pan right here so we have that nice fresh zest.
That's awesome.
That smells super good. I went to this beautiful restaurant. I was lucky enough to go to Iceland to cook for, represent Nova Scotia for sort of the seafood. We were pitching seafood to the Icelandic people. So go imagine. Go figure. Yeah.
Nice to Eskimos.
Yeah, but we went to the most amazing restaurant where they served everything. Every portion was in its own cast iron dish in the pan that it was actually fried in.
Oh, that sounds
With like
amazing.
potatoes on one side, nice roasted tomatoes on the other. Everything cooked in one pan, like a nice one pan dish, which is beautiful. So,
Imagine the poor dishwasher.
oh. See, this is. I love people that know the industry because dishwashers make the world go round.
Yeah,
The
they're heavy
restaurant world.
drinkers.
Shuts the restaurant
they're
down when you don't have one.
Oh my goodness, you need
The
great
dish
dishwashers.
kids, they're heavy drinkers.
Yep, you got to keep them well watered.
Yeah.
Those fish need a lot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just squeezed a little bit of a lemon. I just cut the corner off it
Oh,
here,
that's a good idea.
and that is beautiful. That's exactly what we want
Gorgeous.
for that. So why don't we put some beautiful dishes together?
All right.
Some delicious fishes dishes.
We're going to Heather's house for the next dinner party
Where?
because she's learned all the skills like
Yeah.
oblique carrots, oblique asparagus.
Yep.
Yeah.
And salmon and rubs and cucumber.
I don't know how oblique they turned out.
That's an oblique if I ever saw one, boy. Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, we're going to the plate.
Go to the plate.
Bam!
Oh my gosh,
It'd
she's
be like
channeling
the next
Emerald. I
launch.
love it.
Chef
That's a
O's.
good thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know all the catchphrases.
All the catchphrases.
Oh, yeah.
Martha's.
You know the
and-
lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Italian guy. He used to say bam.
Oh well, yeah, Emerald.
Oh,
Yeah.
Emerald.
Emerald Agassi.
Yeah.
And
knows them all.
and who says we're going to the plate? Oh, that's Michael.
Oh, Michael Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael
yeah, yeah.
Smith. We're going to the plate.
Going to the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always get his theme song and the Chef at Home theme song. You can do it too. Yeah. So we're doing
That's
it
your
too.
new catchphrase, and you can do it too, baby.
Well, these catchphrases, if you think about it, they got to have like a shelf life, right? They're right for
Oh, she brought a new dance.
Yeah. Was that a Muppet Shake? It was like
Went from the Carlton to like the shimmy.
that's great. Well, all right. Why don't we? I'm going to scoop up the asparagus here, and I'm going to give you this tool. This is a fish spatula, and you're going to put the prime subject of the plate on. We're going to the focus of the plate, our beautiful perch. I'm going to make a little bed of oblique asparagus with almonds and a toasted butter and a little bit of lemon.
Sounds so fancy.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. You got to have a little bit of. Can I say bullshit? Well, I just did,
Yeah, you
didn't
can
I?
totally do that.
Great. So, there we go. Shimmy it right on there.
And
Nice.
then cross
Cross
the
it
opposite.
over. Yes. You know it.
That.
That is awesome.
You have to use your
You can
fingers.
touch
That's
it, yeah.
I only scratched my butt once.
That's gorgeous. That's beautiful.
Love it.
Love it. All right. So I'm gonna plate up our salmon over here, which is.
What did
awesome.
you just put
Don't
down?
we have to do this?
Oh yes, yes. Get the chef's
thing.
wipe. You got to wipe that rim.
Yep.
Look at that.
So I'm gonna do a little fancy-ish presentation. So I did a yogurt schmear right on the side.
Oh,
A schmear?
That's
schmear.
just plain yogurt?
That's just plain Greek yogurt. So
Okay.
we're sort of building because we have a lot of nice cooling and rich flavors with the tomato and the fish. This is sort of like the sauce, which doesn't have to be super fancy.
Okay.
But with our nice fresh herbs, with this little saute here,
Yeah.
and our salmon, this is not one person's portion. This is two or
Yeah.
three people's portion, obviously, but you can present it nice at the table. And this is sort of very trendy these days in the restaurant world to sort of go up the side of the plate a little bit
Yeah.
when you schmear it around.
Schmear.
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 It's fun to say, right? It's really fun to say. So
And if you wanted to add another flavor, you could season that yogurt up with something if you wanted
absolutely,
to, right?
absolutely.
But it's probably going to be great contrast to what you've got going on here flavor-wise.
Yeah, and this is like
Black mustard seeds.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
Colorful.
yeah, so lots of color.
Nice
Get it
gloss.
going around. And so Heather, why don't you bring over?
Look at you.
There we go.
Look at you.
Why don't you bring over some of your beautiful pulled herbs, and we'll do
Pulled herbs.
yes, pulled herbs. We're getting all yeah.
That's the mint.
All right, perfect. So let's. Oh, this is nice. So this like a piece here, piece there, just intentionally random. Where
Right.
yeah. So long. Yeah.
These aren't too big, are they?
Oh, a little bit. Let's just knock it down a bit here. There we go. Franz. Yeah, they sound German. Franz.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that nice? Look at
Yeah.
that. And then we'll save a little bit to go on top.
Okay.
She rude.
Oh yeah. This. Oh, where's that? I need that fish spatula from you. So let's.
Oh, the spatula.
Oh, the spatula. So we were talking about the skin on the fish. So let's make sure it's nice and
I
crispy.
forgot about the fish.
And it is
oh, that looks
wonderfully
great.
crispy. What's great about these spatulas? See how it's sort of curved this way?
Yeah.
If you're like, oh no, like the moment I just had where I was like, oh shit, the
stuck.
skin
We've
all
is
been
stuck
there.
to the pan.
Yeah.
Patty's right there. You're watching me. It's a lot of stress. But if you use this end of the spatula, you go right underneath of it,
Isn't that awesome?
and it just comes off in one
So
piece.
if this were TV, we'd have a second one, right?
Exactly.
And it would
exactly.
already
Like
be
10.
scratched.
Yeah,
You'd have like
yeah.
10
It'd be an, made on TV moment. But look at that. That is beautiful. That is
Gorgeous.
crispy. It is burning my hand.
Yep.
So I'm just going to flip it back over like that.
Gorgeous.
Ooh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, and that's going on there.
And this is just going right on there. Look at that.
Oh. Now you guys do cooking classes here.
Yeah. You just took one.
I didn't know that. And I was like, I
Yeah,
need
Adam,
to
why
take
don't you
a
pan
cooking
around the
class.
room? We've got a beautiful little
Yeah.
setup right here.
Yeah, check it out.
Behind the scenes.
You're doing one tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got one tomorrow, 2 Friday,
Yeah.
and
Now,
then next
how
week
do-
I think there's like 6 or 7.
How does
Yeah.
one sign up for a cooking class?
You can book online at kitchendoor.ca.
The
The
website.
schedule is up, so the
Okay.
public classes are there.
Okay.
We also do a whole bunch of. I could come back.
Yeah,
on
come back
stream.
on.
Yeah, come
So
back
I'm,
on,
just
Patty.
But
talking.
seriously, I mean, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I just never have time
I
to
know.
do like an extended course or.
I know.
you
It's tough.
so
Time is.
If it's
always
like
the
a
issue with
3-hour
everything. workshop.
workshop or a 2-day thing, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like you come. See, if you come for one of the hands-on classes, it's like 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
And
And you get to eat afterwards?
well, you eat through the whole night. So
Oh.
you make the first course, you go sit down in our beautiful dining room, you have a glass of wine,
Oh.
then you come back and you cook the second course, You have
like it
another little
already.
tasting glass of wine. You go back.
Okay.
So it goes on. So it's like going to a restaurant, getting a 3 or 4 course meal. Plus, you get all the knowledge,
Yeah.
the interaction. You get the experience. You get a recipe book to go home with. So you walk away with all this information, and sort of what we call food hacks, or like, chef. What we would do as chefs, like the tricks and the trades. We share it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely
here's some
gonna
forks.
do it.
Why don't we?
Thank you.
Why don't we share with the folks at home our
Wanna take a
delicious
shot?
fishes
Wanna take a
dishes?
shot at it first
Oh yeah, I'm
before
gonna
you-
take a nice picture here so we
Yeah.
get it.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Love it.
So you two doing your duet now. Now it's like your duet, right?
I don't know. We're gonna eat fish. That's our duet.
That's a duet.
We
That counts.
like fish in a dish
In a dish.
with
in a dish.
asparagus.
In a dish.
Oh
in a dish.
yeah,
Woo,
it's
woo,
a
woo.
fish dish.
You knocking it out of the park. All right,
You
go.
go first.
No, you go first. You're the guest.
Okay.
You gotta do.
Oh, it's nice and tender.
He can actually cook.
That's beautiful.
It's not
She
just
just muttered
for
he
TV.
can actually
He
cook.
can
I
actually
think
cook.
that's a good thing.
Very beautiful.
Well done there.
Oh, why
Chefy.
thank you. Why thank you.
That's a lovely. You know what? I haven't done a lot of perch,
Yeah.
and I was like, that would be. My kids would eat that up, no problem.
I really like perch because it's light, it's like a little denser than a haddock. You can get a nice crispy skin on it. It's got a velvety texture. Holds together really well in the pan.
Fluffy.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it would
almost
be
fluffy.
so dry and stringy because it's so thin.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one way that the cooking technique sort of helps the fish along, because you want to use a higher, like a medium high to high heat
Yeah.
to cook your
Yeah.
fish. It's just 2 or 3 minutes in the pan, like we did there, super simple, or in the oven for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, depending on the thickness of your piece of salmon,
Yeah.
and it's good to go. And I just put some lime on with the salmon too, because I think that'll make it pop.
Okay, let's make
Here
it
we go.
pop. We're gonna make it pop.
Make it
over
pop.
here.
Oh, I'm gonna try this.
Get in there. See, we eat a lot of haddock,
Mm-hmm.
and we also eat a lot of halibut. But halibut is a lovely fish, but it can get awfully expensive.
Yes.
Yes.
Perch is a very economical fish,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you could easily fit. Oh yeah,
These 2
Yeah.
fillets were $1.65.
2. So imagine.
We could have been eating that in the Rankin house. If we were going.
I think you would have still had your eggs. I don't know.
I grew up in a bologna farm.
We all did on
We ate
the
a
on
lot
the
of
East
bologna.
Coast.
And
All right, what do
treat
we-
night was pigs in blankets. That's the wieners in the
Oh.
dough.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we've all had those.
Oh yeah. I gotta try this too.
Oh yeah. Get in on
Yeah.
the salmon there.
Oh, yum. Super yum.
I gotta have one of these
Oh my
sauteed
God.
cucumbers. Let's give that a little.
See? And you know what? You could do this for your next dinner party, and you could put 2 or 3 plates in the middle of the table and let people sort of serve themselves. You don't even have to plate it all for everybody.
Oh my god, the yogurt.
I
And
know.
the yogurt neat, and it's something that we think of it as a breakfast thing most of the time, right? But it is a beautiful, just little anchor for a plate like this.
It is.
And if you think everything tossed together is almost like a Greek salad, but it also sort of brings in a lot of Middle Eastern flavors. It's really, really good.
What did you use? Did you use sumac?
No, I didn't use sumac. I was talking about doing that earlier,
You
then I
did.
forgot it off camera, so I
Okay.
didn't use it.
Sumac.
Okay.
But sumac is actually a little red berry that grows predominantly in the Middle East, but it's got a really like tart, almost lemony flavor to it.
Okay.
So it's in a lot of. It's like a great topping for hummus or fish or
Is it like
chicken.
a pomegranate?
It looks.
But
it's
more of a seed.
More of a seed. So it's tiny. It almost looks like choke cherries. Those little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have 2 sumac trees in my front yard. Actually, they haven't given me any berries yet, but someday.
So I'm missing something. What did you put in this?
So it's garam masala.
Okay.
on top.
Ah.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
so
like,
it's-
I missed something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's really, really
I have
awesome.
some more.
So if people want to see you over the next few months, where are they going to be able to see
Yeah.
you? Where are you performing?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
No, chef. In the next few months, where are they going to be able to see you?
I'll be right here, Adam, but I'd really know what Heather Rankin's doing over the next few months.
I'm going to be in Chester on Saturday with Kathy Jones from 22 Minutes
Oh, I knew you were in Chester. I didn't know Kathy
at
was
the
there.
Playhouse. And I'm doing a week of shows at the kitchen party at Neptune
Yep.
in August.
Which is awesome. I saw it last year. It's a great show.
Isn't it a great
It is
concept?
it's such a great concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing a new festival in Antigonish called the Summer Fest.
You nailed it. Good job.
It's a festival in the summer. It's a summer fest in Antigonish, and there'll be a number of songwriters, I believe, at the show that I'm going to be involved with. And what else am I doing? I'll be doing a bunch of dates in the fall with my
August,
Christmas
you're here in
music.
Halifax.
Yeah.
You're at Cone. like mid-August, aren't you? No. Oh, you
Where
are.
am I in August? I'm in PEI for something in September. I'm in Sydney.
But you're around these
opening
parts.
for Trooper
Nice.
Ooh,
in Sydney. I know, isn't that crazy?
it is, but that's awesome.
I know, it's wild. And I'm doing some shows with the Nova Scotia Symphony in Nova Scotia in late November, December.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and then a bunch of dates in Ontario and other places, but yeah.
But you're staying around these parts for mostly the summer,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
I'm looking forward to a little bit of time
Yeah.
where I'm not traveling. So a lot of my family come home during this time of the year, and it's good. It's
It
good
is
to take
good.
a break in the summer.
It
The
is.
best place in the world to be in the summer is Cape Breton.
Not in January, but in the summer, definitely.
Actually, if you're there and you have family and you're involved they're in sports or you have your own things going on, it's a great place to live.
My first cooking job was in Cape Breton.
Where?
The deck, the Invery Inn.
Yes.
That was my very first cooking job, so
Oh, wow.
I have a very special place.
Oh, we must come and do chef's night at the pub.
Yes.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
we planted the seed. It's
Ta-da.
growing already. I love
Oh my
it.
god, and then we could broadcast it on Facebook too.
Absolutely.
Angie would love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have discussions.
This
on
is
how
so much
is gonna
fun.
work.
I really look forward to taking some more classes.
And cooking this
Yeah.
at home.
And cooking at home. Well, I'm going to teach James how to cook it.
Okay.
There we go.
Woo-hoo.
Get him to watch
Awesome.
the show a couple
watch the
times so he
dishes.
gets it down. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good cook.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. Are we a wrap? Are we wrapping?
Is there anything else you want to share?
Anything else you want to
going on?
share?
Do you rap?
Well,
Oh, yeah. Do you
I've
wrap?
been holding this in for a long No.
I love it.
No, I'm...
There's a rap in one of your songs.
Oh, wrap it up?
No, I'm singing it every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's right. There is...
She needs a little more wine for that, so we'll just leave it at that.
Straight from the belly. I can't even do it. It's hard. To rap is hard.
Rap- It is hard.
It's a talent.
I agree with
Yeah.
you.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was
was my
awesome to
pleasure.
have you,
My pleasure.
and you should come back.
Thank you for
Yes,
having
we'll
me.
have you back again.
Okay.
And next week, Adam,
It's a Brooklyn.
New Brooklyn
Oh,
Media.
yeah.
Oh yes, that's a busy week. We're doing some filming with them,
Yep.
but they're going to come on and talk about all the cool things that they do, and they do lots of cool things. New Brooklyn Media, and they're here in Dartmouth. They're a
Okay.
video production, but they tell the
New media
story.
company.
New media. Look at us.
So
yeah.
would they come and record one of my shows so that I
Oh,
could
yeah.
post on YouTube?
And then they would
and
like
those
curate
yeah.
a video for you.
things? Oh.
And
If
then
you,
you
if
would
you want
have-
like a drone video of your show,
Yeah.
they can do that. Oh yeah,
They
they
do
do
all
some
sorts of
cool
cool
that's a
stuff.
good idea.
And they're here in Dartmouth.
Yeah.
They've done some cool stuff for some of our friends and colleagues, so we thought this would be great to reach out. And so they're coming on the show, and we're doing a couple of things, so stay tuned for that.
And you also do, besides classes, you do you cater,
Oh my gosh.
and you do the thing where you go to the house and you.
Oh yeah,
cook
we'll do
for
private
everybody?
dinners, we'll do
Private
catering.
dinners.
You're hilarious. You know, when you go to the house and like you just do that.
You know, and,
She's so
like,
sweet.
someone
Says a lot
invite-
about a person when we invite them on a show to talk about their thing, and they talk
they're
about
talking
our thing.
about us.
It's awesome.
Clearly, your life is way more exciting.
No, we are innovative. Our tagline is an innovative food company. We started in catering, and we will always remain. That's our core business, off-site and on-site catering. But we branched into classes. We have a retail food shop that has all sorts of meals to go and chef-prepared menu items that you can take home really easily at the end of the night. We do private events. We rent our space out. We do, sky's the
Great
limit.
space.
All sorts of stuff.
You
It
got
is
a cool
great
idea?
space.
You want to implement it? Give us a call.
Give
we'll
us
figure
a
it
call.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food innovation, baby. All right, next week, tune in. We'll see you next Wednesday, 9 o'clock, New Brooklyn Media. We'll see you before then, because we're always
I'm
doing
so
stuff.
glad we had this time together.
She's going to sing us out.
Just to
Cha-cha-cha.
have a laugh and cook a meal.
And we got the sway down. I love it.
I'll do the dad dance.
The dad dance. This is really, people are going to tune in just for this.
We're already tuning out. No.
Tune in next week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Woo-hoo.